start off with a little desk refresh, getting all of these little knickknacks that are everywhere out of the way. My AirPods have been loaded up with electricity, so I can now get this cord out of the way. Honestly, I just feel very rushed and overwhelmed and all over the place. I have a very hard time focusing on what I really need to do. And it's because I skipped my Sunday reset last week. So I'm not going to do that this week. No. I am actually going to plan for a calm week. And I thought it would be cool to invite you and plan along with me, because whenever I use my Sunday reset, I actually have a better week because I'm prepared. I don't have to keep remembering all the things that I need to do because I actually planned it out. It's been placed in black and white on the paper. So all I have to do is follow the steps that I laid out on Sunday throughout the entire week. And then I usually know everything I want to know. So let's grab ourselves a little beverage so we can sit down behind our desks and actually plan for a calm week. So now that we have a clean desk, I can start grabbing everything that I need, starting with my monthly planner pad. I love this to create an overview for the entire month, or at least for the coming week. Then I have my Hobonichi plain tacho that I currently use for my very simple bullet journal method. Then I have my Hobonichi weeks, and then I have my Filofax ring binder, and that contains all of my True Life ring binder inserts for all of my trackers. And I think that is the first thing I want to fix. So this is my period tracker. It's where I track all of the symptoms I experience in my body, which is actually quite important to me because it helps me prevent getting anxious, because sometimes I do get really anxious. And then when I feel something in my body that I cannot place, I just look into my habit tracker. I'm like, oh, right, my period is coming, so I don't have to worry. This is a normal thing that I'm feeling, so that's always nice. Yeah, I do have some zits, which is annoying, and I have eczema, which is also annoying, and it's on my toes. Like, eczema on my body pops up wherever and whenever. It's the weirdest thing. I do have a shit ton of anxiety, which is very annoying. And then, do I have cravings? Yes. Yesterday and the day before, I was eating chocolate cookies like you wouldn't believe. Insane. I did work out on Friday. I started working out again. I'm very proud of myself because I had anxiety going to the gym for a long ass time, so I didn't go for years. But now I'm back and I'm actually doing so much better than I thought. And this is really what tracking my habits on a daily basis does for me. It provides me insight into what is happening in my body and in my life, because I can sometimes feel like I'm not doing enough. But then when I start tracking, I'm like, what am I whining about? I'm actually doing a lot of stuff and I'm actually doing the things well. For example, this is my daily chores tracker. I brush my teeth every day, twice a day. I've been applying skincare every day this week. And I also did an everything shower on Friday, which includes hair. Did a workout on Friday. I haven't journaled all week. See, this is why I track. I haven't journaled. That's not good. It could explain why I'm more anxious and why I feel all over the place. I have been doing dishes all week. So, yeah. I took out the garbage on Friday. And I also managed to study Korean every weekday, which I'm very happy about because I'm getting better. So that's my habit tracker. Now I can put this away knowing that I finished it for this week. So now we can move over to my monthly overview. This is a planner pad for an entire month. As you can see, it is dateless. It has 24 pages, so you can use this for 2 years. You have 1 page for every month. You can also use it per week, as you can see, so you can go off the way you want to. The reason why I like this is because I like to have an overview of the coming month and weeks on paper. I tend to grasp my tasks and everything I need to do better if I see it right in front of me. And if I've written it out by hand, I can also really let it go. And I also have my Hobonichi weeks. And obviously the Hobonichi weeks has that monthly overview in the beginning, but I feel like this is too small. And I tend to not use this because I don't look at it for some reason. I just always have my Hobonichi weeks open on my desk like this for the current week. And then I completely forget that I have an overview here. Plus I like a bigger overview. I don't know why. So let's just fill this in together for the coming week, because usually I do this for the entire month. But I sort of kind of skipped August because it was my month off. But now I'm slowly starting to get back in all the things. So yeah, let's go for it. It's the year 2026, and my name is Gaia Quintana, which is my first name. People think Quintana is my last name. It's not. And we're living in August. Now, my priorities in this month, we're almost at the end of August, but I still have a very important priority here. So my priorities are my Snail Mail Club relaunch content. That is very important. I relaunched my Snail Mail Club and I need to make a video about it. Another priority I have is work out 3 times a week. And only eat 3 meals a day. No snacks in between. Did I say 3 meals a week? I mean 3 meals a day. three meals a, yeah, 3 meals a, because 3 meals a week is a little, it's not that great. And then do I have main tasks? Yes, I have to send out snail mail letter number 1 tomorrow. That is basically my most important task. And after finishing this task, I have a little checkbox right here. I could just like check it off. So that's why I like this. I like having my priorities and the tasks that match the priorities very close together. It depends on the person, of course, but this works really well for my brain. All right, I got my trusty Google Calendar so that I know which days of the week we're at. We're starting with August 24th, tomorrow. And then we have 25 on Tuesday. All right, I'm going to switch over to my Sarasa Mark On pen. I really love this thing. Once the ink is dry, you can easily go over with a marker. And I love using markers because I use them to color code and also signify to myself that tasks are done or that they are on hold or whatever. I already know Friday is a very important day for me when it comes to admin stuff, so that needs to be first. I'm just gonna start listing all the tasks per weekday, just dumping it all on the page. It doesn't really matter what the order of things is because I'm going to reorder and organize everything on or in my bullet journal later. But right now, this monthly overview is helping me put everything on the page and get it out of my mind. So Monday is going to be send snail mail. And then I also have to assemble it. Assemble mail. Otherwise I can't send it. And then Another task I have to do tomorrow, Monday, is content creation. That's it. Ooh, and I have a workout on Monday. Workout. I'm going to do Pilates. Reformer Pilates, which was definitely kicking my ass last week. See, now my brain is starting to work again. I know that I have my workouts on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I can easily just put that on the bottom line. And then I know that on Saturday, I want to rest, but on Sunday, I also want to do a reset in my house. So we're going to make that a first priority and call it the Sunday reset. And that means clean, organize, and then I need my little journal and planner prep hour. So that's my Sunday. Sunday is resting and resetting. All right, so now I have the entire week planned. I just have Saturday open because I don't know what I can do on Saturday. Maybe something comes up. I like to keep some days a little bit more free so that I can have some spontaneous outings and maybe move some tasks around. Because usually I don't film on a Sunday. I'm filming on a Sunday right now, which is because I didn't plan this week correctly. So now I'm working in my weekend, which is not what I want. So this is how I use my monthly planner pad. Usually if I start at the beginning of the month, I would do everything. Like I would just start brain dumping all of the tasks per day to just get a global overview of all of my appointments, tasks, and priorities. And then I just keep this on my desk. And if I forget something, I have a little note section right here. All right, so now I can finally breathe because I dumped everything in my brain on my overview. I don't have to remember every little thing and task anymore. If I'm looking for something, it's going to be right here. And this is clearing up my brain space already. So I feel more calm, cool, and collected and ready to think. So now we're moving over to my bullet journal. I am currently using a plain Hobonichi Techo. And I only have like 3 sheets left. So I'm almost done. So what I'm gonna do now is make a bullet journal spread for Monday, which is tomorrow, using my trusty little date stamp that I accidentally bought in the French version. So if you're wondering why it says out, it's because it's French for August, apparently. So I'm now going to make my bullet journal list for tomorrow, which is Monday the 24th, which is why I have my monthly overview here, because I want to see what I dumped on the page. And then I'm going to make a really nice, perfect bullet journal list with all the things that I really need. And as you can see, I skip a line between tasks, and tasks that belong to the same group, I just place a little bit more inward so that, like, as you would do in Word, you would create like a little bullet list, but then you just jump inward a little bit for a task that belong under a certain group. I do the same thing in my bullet journal. So my habit tracker is the main task, but under habit tracking also falls checking my planner and journaling a little bit, because those are all habits. That's why I create a little indent here. And I also skip a line because I realized that if I put some white lines between the tasks, the bullet journal page starts looking a little bit more light and airy. And if you have a cluttered brain like I do, just a little white space between the tasks can give you a more structured and less overwhelming feeling. Because if you put all the tasks row after row after row, it feels like a big chunk of stuff you have to do. And I really don't like that. And then I also have to do a meal check. I always do a meal check for MTL which is my web shop, where you can get this planner pad, by the way. Okay, and then I am going to print the little workbook for my snail mail. So now you're starting to see my method. I dump big tasks in my monthly overview. Then I look at the day that is coming, which is Monday. I take the big tasks that I jotted down and I take them to my bullet journal where I break everything down into little steps. So my first habits that I always have on a Monday are my habits, and my habits mean that I have to check my habit tracker, I have to update my planner, I have to journal, and then I have to do a meal check for my true life. Once that is done, I can move over to bigger tasks. One of the tasks was send out snail mail, but to send out snail mail, I have to print a little workbook, I have to assemble the snail mail, I have to print addresses, I have to add stamps, and then I can send it. And that's how I break down big tasks into little steps and make it doable for myself, and I don't forget a thing. So the last things that I have to do are content creation. So that is another big task that I'm about to break down. So content creation in this case means a MTL minute video. And an MTL minute means a micro life minute. So I film a video that is max 60 seconds long, and I show you how to start your Monday off by using a journal prompt. And I actually write down what I want to film. And I know that I have some references in a Google Doc or in Xstyles. So I don't have to figure out what to film because I have all kinds of ideas ready to roll. And my last step is to update my Hobonichi weeks, which I haven't been using at all this year. Or very little, I should say. And I know everyone at this point in time is going crazy about the new Hobonichi release. And honestly, I'm over it. And I think it's because Hobonichi used to be a brand that was a little bit exclusive. Not everyone used it. And when people did use it, they actually used it productively and efficiently. Now I see people buying like 3 Hobonichi planners just to have it. I'm like, that's so... Listen, I sometimes shop, okay? I'm not completely free of consumerism, but the greed is real with Hobonichi. And you know what? Good for them, because they be selling. But for me, as someone who is now a stationery designer herself, someone who loves to binge watch planner and journal videos, as a consumer myself too, I'm just so over it. Like, I just want to see people actually use their Hobonichis in productive ways that are actually helping you move forward in life. And for myself, I've already like used the Hobonichi exactly the way I like it. Like, I have nothing more to share. And I also miss a few things that I need in my planner. So I'm actually working on designing my own planner. But in the meantime, I want to use this. But I just don't have much to record in my Hobonichi weeks at the moment, because in the Netherlands we now have a summer vacay. I have very, very little appointments and things to do, so I don't really have much to track. So let's grab my Google Calendar, because I do have a few things that I need to do. For example, at 9:15 on Monday, or 7:15 on Monday at night, I have a Pilates class. That's fun. And then I also work out on Wednesday nights at 7 at night. Workout. And then I also work out on Fridays at 7. And those are all the appointments I have right now. So It is very, very boring. And then I also study Korean every weeknight, but I never really record that in my Hobonichi weeks because I kind of know. It's just, it takes up so much space when I do have appointments. And I find the Hobonichi weeks to be very small if I have a lot of appointments in a day because I take on a new freelance client in marketing, for example. I try to not put everything here because it just takes up so much space. And that's my Hobonichi weeks basically. I used to track my habits here, but I moved my habits to my Filofax binder because I like to have a little bit more space, which is my whole beef with the Hobonichi weeks. I don't have enough space, and then I also bought a Hobonichi cousin, and that was too big and not exactly the way I wanted it, so... But yeah, this is my system for now. So in short, I use my Filofax binder with my True Life habit tracker inserts. This really helps me realize that I actually really did a good job and that I'm actually not doing too shabby. So that is always my first step. Then I move over to my monthly planner pad where I dump all of my tasks on the page. Then I go over to my bullet journal where I lay out all of my tasks into details on the page per day so that I can't miss everything or anything actually. And then I go to my Hobonichi weeks where normally I would have way more appointments, but hey, it's a summer vacay. And that's the way I plan for a calm week. Feel free to adjust my system to your liking. There's no right or wrong. All I want to do is inspire you to find a way to live your true life. And if that means you're going to really flip my method upside down because it works better for you, you go girl, you go babes. I just want you to win. So if you want to see more of these episodes, definitely hit subscribe. And let me know what your method looks like to plan for a calm week because I'm always looking for new ways to improve my true life. And that's it. Stick to your plans. I'll see you in the next one.